Welcome back to #That. I'm Dawn Nuttall.
And I'm Emma Yoder. From New Girl to That 70's Show, we're back with the latest entertainment news updates.
All that and more, from Hamden to Hollywood, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
From Hamden to Hollywood,
we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Some unfortunate news from this weekend. Neil Sedaka passed away Saturday night at the age of 86. Sedaka was a beloved American singer-songwriter from Brooklyn, New York. He was a classically trained pianist, best known for his hits Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, The Lion Sleeps Tonight, and Ghostwriting. Ghostwriting, Love Will Keep Us Together, and Stupid Cupid, among many other chart toppers. The artist leaves behind his wife, kids, and grandkids, who made a statement saying, quote, "Our family is devastated. He was a true rock and roll legend, an inspiration to millions, but most importantly, to those of us who were lucky enough to know him, an incredible human being who will be deeply missed," end quote. His impact on the music industry will be forever remembered as his legacy lives on.
Actor Shia LaBeouf was arrested during a Mardi Gras celebration in New Orleans after hitting two people outside of a Royal Street business. The actor seemed to be intoxicated when the incident occurred and was allegedly shouting homophobic slurs at the victims involved. He was seen shoving one person down to the ground before coming back up to punch another. It has not been concluded what exactly led up to the incident, but the actor was promptly arrested and given a $100,000 bond. After the initial arrest, he was arrested again on Saturday and charged with an additional misdemeanor for the incident.
On a more wholesome note, Tom Holland and Zendaya allegedly secretly got married. The couple had been facing rumors for a while, and Law Roach, fashion stylist to both Zendaya and Holland, wound up breaking the news in an interview last night. At the Actor Awards yesterday, when asked about the relationship, Law Roach told a reporter, "The wedding has already happened. You missed it." The two of them first met back in 2016 on the set for Spider-Man: Homecoming and have been together for at least 5 years now. They had reportedly gotten engaged around December of 2024, and Zendaya had shown up to the 2025 Golden Globes debuting her engagement ring, sparkling loads of excitement. The couple has been one to keep the relationship private, and they seem to be thriving since tying the knot.
Prominent YouTuber Markiplier's new horror adaptation of popular video game Iron Lung becomes the most successful independent YouTuber-made movie. The gaming YouTuber has been known throughout his career for his lengthy playthrough videos of different horror games. But after playing through a game titled Iron Lung, he decided to turn the unique game into a full-length feature horror film. The film has now grossed $50 million worldwide, making it the most successful film made by a YouTuber in history. The movie was completely self-financed by Markiplier himself, who has said, quote, "I'm just going to keep going on my own," close quote, in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter discussing the possibility of him working with a major studio. Not only is this the most successful YouTuber-made film, it has also recently been credited with the most fake blood ever used in a film production. The Star Wars movies have forever been a staple in pop culture media, but the question is, how would you pick your favorites of the bunch? Here with Ranked to give it a try is Ryan Haje.
Thanks, guys. With the release of the new Mandalorian Grogu trailer, I'm going to be ranking the original 6 Star Wars movies from worst to first. Let's get started. In last place is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Unpopular opinion, but I personally don't dislike this movie. I think it's a pretty solid, other than the part on Coruscant, which slows down too much and really hampers it for me. In 5th, I have Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Don't get me wrong, this is a solid Star Wars movie, but it falls short in the acting department. It heavily relies on CGI, and in many ways, it feels like the black sheep of the franchise. In 4th, I have Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. Out of the original trilogy, this is easily the lowest ranking, as it is the weakest, yet it's still a classic. In 3rd, I got the original, Episode 4, A New Hope. For a movie released in 1997, it more than visually holds up, and is truly a special movie. Now it's time for the controversial takes. My number 2 is Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Out of the original Star Wars movies, this one is the best, no doubt. But is it the best Star Wars movie overall? I think that goes to the number 1, Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith. This movie is just great out of just pure enjoyment, and it stands out and is the perfect way to send off the original franchise. That's all this week for Ranked. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Do you enjoy Quinnipiac sports?
I just keep leaving to pick Paige Girardi over Carson Martin. I think
Floor
Carson
general, absolute glue guy on the court.
Then Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you.
'Twas the night of Bobcat Breakdown, and all through the suite, all the producers were running round, getting ready for show of the week.
I brought mittens because I think that half of this take is cold.
I think us Anthonys think alike because I have the exact same idea as you.
Tune in to Bobcat Breakdown every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. on q30tv.com/watch.
Elmo loves to giggle. Elmo's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
The go-to Quinnipiac news source for students by students. We've got the latest on campus news, student life, and stories all around the country. Get to know your local community with features on Hamden businesses and politics. Everything you need to know, all in 30 minutes. Wednesdays at 9:30, reporting for the Quinnipiac community.
I'm Alyssa Schneider.
I'm Sophia DeBona.
I'm Amari Smith.
I'm Christina Semanis.
I'm Riley Farrell.
I'm Andrew Allison.
I'm Miranda Patorti.
We are the Q30 Newscast.
Emma, right now it's looking a lot like an update on Pokemon is something I would Pikachu's.
I have to agree with Pokemon Day. This past Friday celebrating 30 years. Fans are hyped. Here to break it down is Jacob Galui.
Last year, I reported on Pokemon Presents in the hopes that the 10th generation of games would be revealed, and they weren't. This year is Pokemon's 30th anniversary, though, and that makes it the perfect year to jump into double digits with Gen 10. For a bit of context, Pokemon generations have been releasing on a 3-year cycle for almost a decade now. But last year broke that tradition because Generation 9 was really buggy and graphically underwhelming on release, and remains so to this day. So this is the year that we will surely see better graphics, right? Well, Fire Red and Leaf Green are both nostalgia bait and at a not so crazy price point, so I'll take it. The original Gen 1 remakes were Shadow Drop for Nintendo Switch a week before the official Pokemon Day celebration, teased with compatibility with current games, and they give us hope for release of future retro games. In the actual presentation, we got the usual mobile game updates, a cute Game Boy theme music player, Mega Garchomp Z coming to Legends ZA, the most recent Pokemon game, a release date for Pokemon Champions, the new competitive battling platform, and one last trailer for Pokemon Pokopia, the Pokemon Life Sim releasing this Thursday. Wow. I know to some people playing huge AAA games with hyper-realistic graphics that this is nothing special, but for Pokemon, this is huge. The lighting going through Tropius' leaves, the shadows on this Tangela give us a taste of the nice lighting engine. The amount of color and foliage and detail in so many of the environments, the water, diving sections making their grand return since Gen 3, so many environments, music recorded by the NHK Symphony Orchestra, they're pulling out all the stops in Generation 10 and Pokemon's 30th anniversary. The aptly named Pokemon Winds and Waves feature new starter Pokemon as well, Brout, Pombon, and Gekwa. I personally will probably pick Gekwa, and I'm doing my best to stay away from all kinds of spoilers and leaks ever since the entire Gen 9 Dex was leaked to me back. Either way, I'm super excited to play Winds and Waves later this year. Oh. The 2027 release date was by far the most surprising part of this presentation. Having a 5-year gap instead of 4, when it's also usually 3, is really surprising. And the fact the game isn't being pushed out on the 30th anniversary shows that the executives aren't forcing it out and are allowing the developers to take time with the game. Typical Pokemon precedent indicates this game is going to release in November, but there's really nothing stopping it from releasing earlier in the year. It might release on Pokemon Day next year, which would be 2/27/27, which would be cute. Either way, it's an uncomfortable thought because I played Gen 9 at the age of 16, and I might play Gen 10 at the age of 21. The question now is what their plans are until then. We likely won't receive news on the games until maybe August at the World Championships, but definitely next February 27th. My guess is they'll fill this time by releasing the other retro games, and in the meantime, the Pokemon fandom is off to Conspiracyville. What's the new game mechanic teasing the Japanese logo? What's this hoverboard-like thing on the player's bag? Who are you? In the meantime, I'll be playing Pokemon Pokopia, dreaming about Generation 10, and dodging the inevitable torrent of leaks. Back to you at the desk.
Hey Don, I think we could use a little music in here. Is that just me?
Yeah, Emma, you know what? You're right. To crank it up a notch, here with Tuning In is Xiomara Saavedra.
Medically
Thanks guys, I'm going over all the latest news you've missed in the realm of tunes and melodies. Puerto Rico's history is heading to the big screen. Grammy-winning artist Residente is making his featured directorial debut with Puerto Rico, starring Bad Bunny in his first leading film role. The film is inspired by Puerto Rican revolutionary José Maldonado Román, who fought against the colonial rule in the late 1800s. Executive produced by Alejandro G. Iñárritu, the film will blend a Caribbean Western style with a story about identity, colonialism, and Puerto Rico's roots. This marks a major moment for Latin storytelling on a global stage. Rap star Baby Keem released his new album Casino last Friday, his first project in nearly 4 years. The project blends hip-hop, West Coast rap, and introspective trap sounds. After the passing of his grandmother in 2025, Keem decided to broaden the story behind the album to honor everyone who shaped him. According to him, the record dives into grief, childhood trauma, and family memories. During his listening party live stream, he said, quote, "This album is for the child that walks home slow. Get off the school bus and you're just with your friends, and then you get home and it's a whole different world. You're a whole different person," end quote. The album features collaborations with his cousin Kendrick Lamar, along with other artists. Casino is now streaming on all major platforms. Disney is celebrating 20 years of Hannah Montana, and yes, it might just be the best of both worlds. Miley Cyrus is returning home for the Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special, streaming March 24th on Disney+. The special will be filmed in front of a live studio audience and feature an in-depth interview hosted by Alex Cooper. Fans can expect never-before-seen archival footage and the return of iconic sets, including the Stewart family living room and Hannah's legendary closet. Cyrus says the special is her way of thanking the fans who have been with her for 20 years. That's it for this week's Tuning In. Back to you guys at the desk.
While we're in the world of music, here's something that'll summon the Swifties.
Dawn, I got you there. Taylor Swift has just been named best-selling artist for the 6th time in a row, and here to fill us in is Alyssa Schneider.
Thanks, guys. From the very first note of her career to the latest milestone, one name continues to define global pop music, the one and only Taylor Swift. The 6th time in her career, Taylor Swift has been named the world's best-selling artist by the International Federation of Phonographic Industry, also known as the IFPI. At this point, it feels like less of a surprise, and more like a standard that she has set for herself. This title is not about one big hit or a viral moment. The IFPI measures global performance across digital downloads, streaming, and physical sales. That matters, because it means this recognition reflects consistency, scale, and real worldwide demand. In my view, that is what makes this achievement so impressive. Her album Midnights continued to perform strongly around the world, while her Taylor's versions releases proved that catalog music can compete with brand new projects. It's not many artists can re-release years-old material and send it back to the top of the charts. That takes more than nostalgia, it takes trust from an audience. In a streaming-driven industry, most artists focus almost entirely on digital numbers. Taylor Swift succeeds there, but she also dominates in physical sales. On platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, her releases routinely put up massive numbers. At the same time, her vinyl and CD sales remain exceptionally strong. That balance is rare, and in my opinion, it is a big part of why she continues to outspace her peers. What stands out most to me is how deliberate her career has been. The re-recording of her masters was not just a business move, it shifted the conversation around artist ownership. Whether someone is a fan or not, it is hard to deny that that decision had an industry-wide impact. Younger artists are clearly more aware of their contracts and rights because of examples like hers. Her touring impact also deserves mention. Very few artists can generate the level of economic activity her recent tour did. When cities and local businesses report measurable boosts during a tour stop, that is not just popularity, that is scale. Personally, I think what separates Taylor Swift from many other major artists is her ability to combine strong songwriting, business strategy, and cultural awareness. She does not just release albums, she builds clear eras with distinct identities. She has sustained relevance across multiple generations of listeners. Being named the world's best-selling artist for a 6th time is not just another award. It is a sign of long-term dominance in an industry that changes constantly. Trends shift, platforms evolve, audiences move on, yet Taylor Swift remains at the center of the conversation. If this 6th IFPI title proves anything, it is that her position at the top is not accidental. It is built on strategy, consistency, and a deep connection with her audience. And right now, it does not look like that is going to change anytime soon. Unfortunately, that is all the time that I have for you today. But hashtag that will be back after this commercial break.
We are taught you don't talk about your problems with nobody because you could get in trouble. And I've been through a lot. Anxiety, depression, sexual assault. When I decided to get help, my life changed. And the mental health box, that was one of the big tools. Accepting help means that we are allowing somebody to bless our life. It's freeing. We got stronger together. Love your mind.
Left for Vidicek. Vidicek walking in. Shot. Save made. Rebound. Score!
Did you miss this goal last night? No worries. We got you covered.
Antonin Varel gets the puck to Ethan Winbach in front of the net. He puts it past Alvin Breya.
Every team, every game.
She shoots it blocker side into the net.
All the news, highlights, and more.
First year connection. Ty Turner to Keith McKnight.
This is Sports Pause. Monday nights at 9:30, only on Q30 Television.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
We're back with this week's Cinema Spotlight, and here to fill us in on all the latest updates, joining us at the desk is my co-director, Jack Igoe.
Thanks, guys. There's always something new to talk about that's been causing a buzz in the world of cinema, so let's get into it. The biggest piece of industry news that hit the presses this week would probably be the merger between Warner Brothers and Paramount. Back in December, Netflix announced that their company and Warner Brothers made a merger agreement. Just this past week, Paramount had bid higher than Netflix to buy Warner Brothers in a hostile takeover, which Netflix did not match. Now Warner Brothers and Paramount will be merging instead. There have been many talks over the past few months about how either company's buying out Warner Brothers will affect the industry. 2 weeks ago, the U.S. Justice Department had summoned some of the largest movie theater chains in the U.S. for conversations about a Warner Brothers sale and how it will affect the film industry and theater business. Previously, Netflix had stated that they would be willing to give Warner Brothers films a healthy theatrical release window of 45 days, which Paramount recently announced that they would do as well. Don and Emma, how do you guys feel about the acquisition, and how much do you think this will change the film industry as a whole for better or worse?
I mean, I, for one, am very excited about the merger. I was very disappointed to hear that Netflix was going to be purchasing Warner Bros., and I was scared of what that would do to the film industry, so I'm very excited that Paramount purchased them instead.
Yeah, I'm similar. I was scared that Netflix was going to buy them and then, going to the movies was just not going to be a thing anymore, which would be really sad because that's one of my favorite activities. So I'm definitely happy about this.
Another big drop the past couple weeks that's been sparking up a lot of conversation is the trailer for Toy Story 5. The announcement of the movie came out in February of 2023, while the trailer dropped Thursday, February 19th, and has generated mixed opinions so far. Many people on X are saying that there's no need for a fifth movie, while others are saying this brings them back memories of their childhood. The basic premise of the movie is that electronics are taking over, and toys are being put to the side, which is basically just real life in animated form. The film features the returning cast of Tom Hanks as Woody and Tim Allen as Buzz, as well as new cast members like Greta Lee as the antagonistic Lily Pad. This film will be released in theaters on June 19th, and I hope it'll get kids off their phones and in theater seats. Speaking of, what do you guys think about tech being a quick fix for keeping children entertained? Is this movie onto something by addressing the generational change?
I actually think it's quite ironic that its goal is to get kids off of their screens when, in fact, I think they'll be watching the film on their screens. I think it's a really interesting concept that a big studio is making a kids' film about one of the biggest issues with raising children right now. But yeah, I think it's kind of funny. It's a little ironic.
Yeah, I think I'm more focused on the storyline that, like, what happened to Toy Story. Now we're, like, playing with iPads. And also Woody is bald, which I think is funny and just so random. But, yeah, I mean, my siblings will probably be watching this on their iPads. We'll be watching on our TVs and, the TVs in the car. So, I don't know. It's definitely only interesting for them to be touching on this kind of subject.
I don't disagree. Well, guys, it truly has been a pleasure joining you guys today. That's all the time we have for Cinema Spotlight. I may be signing off, but I've been hearing a lot about everyone's favorite robot cars.
That's right. This year, Transformers, the movie, celebrates its 40th anniversary. And here to break it down is Amari Smith.
How you doing, hashtag? My name is Amari, and for all my die-hard Transformers fans, as well as some newcomers, I have some good news for you. This year marks the 40th anniversary of the very first Transformers movie. So, in honor of this milestone, let's take a walk down memory lane and talk everything Transformers, including what's next for the franchise. Although the first movie came out in 1986, the franchise began as a toy line by Hasbro in 1984. The concept was, and still is, that vehicles and animals are able to transform into massive battling mecha robots. The storyline is a classic good guys vs bad guys all-out war, featuring the heroic Optimus Prime of the Autobots, the good guys, and the villainous Megatron of the Decepticons, the bad guys. The toy line instantly became a massive hit, earning Hasbro over $100 million in sales in just that year. A Transformers comic and cartoon show premiered during the same year. This is where we got to see fan favorites like Bumblebee make their first appearance. The insane popularity of the Transformers franchise led to the release of the very first animated movie, just 2 years later. The film, titled The Transformers the Movie, featured an edgier and darker take on the story thus far, including killing off main characters like Optimus Prime. This decision was part of the reason why it unfortunately flopped, grossing a total of about 5.8 of its $6 million budget. Nevertheless, this did not mean the end for the franchise. 20 years later, the first live-action Transformers movie came out, and this is where we saw the renaissance of the franchise. The movie featured stars like Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, and Tyrese Gibson, and was a huge success, grossing over $700 million globally compared to its $150 million budget. Since then, there have been 7 live-action Transformers films, each grossing over $500 million globally. And that brings us to today. To honor 40 years since the movie's initial release, Hasbro has announced a global apology tour, referring to Hasbro apologizing for killing off Optimus Prime in the movie. The tour also includes exclusive new toys and products, as well as collaborations with other big-name toy brands, such as Super 7 and Jada Toys. Although I have never personally seen any of the Transformers movies, I can always appreciate the huge impact it had, and still has, on the mecha genre as a whole. It's crazy to think that after 40 years, the franchise is still going strong. So, make sure to keep an eye out for the re-release of that very first Transformers movie, coming to a theater near you. And that's all the time I have for today. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I'm f***ing ugly. Anybody want a package?
Go work, sir, baby. I got you.
And you want to breathe.
Uncle Aaron's locked up for touching all those kiddos.
Here comes the boom. Boom!
Quinnipiac Tonight is Q30's premier sketch comedy show. Watch it live every other Thursday at 9:30 in the Piazza, or tune in online at q30tv.com/watch.
Clap if you care.
This week, Emma and I are playing a game of That New 70's Girl Show with our host, Tristan Hughes.
Thanks, guys. I hope you brought your TV knowledge, because today we are testing you on some of your 2 favorite shows, New Girl and That 70's Show. Let's get things started, shall we? Okay, question number 1. What is the make and model of the car that Eric's dad gives him in the pilot episode? A, 1959 Plymouth
Fury, B, 1979 Ford Family Truckster, or C, 1969 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser?
Vista Cruiser.
Vista Cruiser and...
Vista Cruiser.
Yes, it is Vista Cruiser. All right, question number 2. Who said the quote, "Are you cooking a frittata in a saucepan?"
Schmidt.
You give the answers.
Sorry.
Okay,
I will
question
let
number
the
3.
question be asked. Okay.
How old was Mila Kunis when the show started filming?
14.
I thought we were waiting for the answers.
I did wait.
I just asked the question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was 14.
Yes, 14 is the correct answer. Question 4. When Jess thinks she was drugged in her closet, what was it actually? A, dry ice, B, aquarium rocks, or C, Epsom salt? What do you guys think?
I don't remember.
It's aquarium rocks.
Dude, I'm getting cooked.
Well, I didn't follow the rules, to be fair.
Yeah, you jerk.
Oh, yes,
I got
Nate.
too excited, guys. I got too excited. I'm sorry.
It's okay, we all get there. The answer was aquarium rocks. Anything else memorable from that episode?
It's hilarious because it's also Winston's, his boss, who's a cop, comes to their apartment. So they're trying to hide the aquarium rocks in the toilet because they think it's meth. But it's aquarium rocks. So,
all right.
Fun fact.
Fun facts.
Question number 5. Where does Eric hide his money? A, a Monopoly box, B, Candyland box, or C, Scrabble box?
Oh. Candyland box.
Yeah, Candyland.
The answer is Candyland box.
Dude, this is sad.
It's quite simple.
I tried to give that one to you, too.
I panicked.
It's okay, we've all been there. Questions ain't easy. Question number 6. Which character says the quote, "Thin crust pizza? No thank you. I'm from Chicago." A, Outside Dare, B, Tran, or C, Julius Pepperwood?
Julius Pepperwood?
I think it is Julius Pepperwood, yeah.
I do not know who Julius Pepperwood is.
Is it Julius Pepperwood?
It is Julius Pepperwood.
Yes!
Isn't Julius Pepperwood in his book?
Yeah, it's his
that he
character.
writes?
It's Nick as himself in his book.
Right.
And that's from That's 70's?
That's from
No, that's
New
from
Girl.
New Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he drops out of law school and becomes an author of the Pepperwood Chronicles.
The Pepperwood Chronicles. What is that?
It's like a
I don't know.
It's like a preteen mystery novel type situation.
He kind of went off on it.
Yeah. At first it was a zombie novel, and then he pivoted. Yeah.
All right. Well,
anyways,
get back to the questions.
Yes.
Question number 7. What was Kelso's nickname at camp? A, Dr. Peep Peep, B, Big Fat Goalie, or C, Big Chief Brown Bottom?
I had no idea.
I'm gonna go Brown Bottom. I don't remember that one.
Brown Bottom, C.
I'm gonna go Dr. PP.
Dr. Peep Peep, and you're going Brown
I
Bottom?
think so, yeah.
Okay. It is Big Chief Brown Bottom.
Oh!
Nice.
I'm too good.
I do not remember that literally
I don't remember
at all.
that.
I remember it. I have not watched either show. And our final question, which nickname belongs to the character who also calls himself Prank Sinatra? A, Nicky Pots and Pans, B, Schmitty, and C, Winnie the Bish.
Winnie the Bish.
Winnie the Bish.
That is the correct answer.
Fun fact about that, he calls himself Prank Sinatra, but his pranks are either not even a prank or the most extreme prank ever. 2 examples of this is one time he put a blueberry in a shoe, and another time he hit a raccoon in the roof of somebody's wedding, and then it fell down on the wedding. So
Kind of reminds me of from How I Met Your Mother, Barney's game playbook. Oh. And for our final, which of the characters from both shows would get along if they ever met?
Oh, I feel like
Jess and Jackie.
Jess and Jackie and Kelso and Schmidt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds true. I'll agree with you guys on both fronts. Well, guys, we've had a lot of fun, but that's all the time we have left for today of this episode of #That.
Make sure to follow us on our social media accounts to stay up to date. I'm Emma Yoder.
And I'm Dawn Nuttall. From the producers, talent, and everyone working hard behind the scenes, thank you for watching #That. And we'll see you again March 16th.